What kind of men are you trying to attract by rubbing vagina juice all over behind your ear? I mean, you're
the kind that want to fuck, Wes.
Animals, yeah.
Just
pure, like Rikers Island guys.
Do I smell what I think I smell?
Yeah, where's it coming from?
Be impressive. I mean,
You are!
There it is.
Hell yeah, boss!
Oh, hey!
Oh yeah!
Good morning and welcome to episode 1019 of Hard Factor. It is Wednesday, August 17th, 2022. Thank you for cheating on the news with us today. Pat's got Mantai Teau, an update on him, and some other political updates in the cup of coffee in the big time.
It's just a jacked up pot full of coffee that you're going to want to drink down with me today.
Sprinkle a little meth in there, something like that.
Can I admit that I have no idea who Mantai Teau is?
Yeah, he's a football player, which is
That's fine.
That's it's fine, Wes.
Yeah, actually, this is going to be great. This is going to be great that you don't know.
Football player. It makes sense that you don't know who he is. Kind of an obscure football player. Honestly.
Well, maybe
Had a
Now
fake
that,
girl-
now that
had
you
a-
say that, it rings a bell.
he had a
maybe
fake
he-
girlfriend. We'll get into it.
maybe he wouldn't have been obscure.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah,
Fake girlfriend guy. Okay.
Yes. Yep. He's
I
back.
definitely
Okay,
heard his position in the draft class. But we're going to get into that.
Oh, I'm sure it was high. He was a star in college. I've got horny English folks and Russian war machines in the TikTok International Moment, and Wes has a dark update at the end to put this one to bed for good.
Not
A dirt
looking-
nap,
Not looking good for one guy out there. Let me tell you.
really.
Yeah.
Who?
Is that a guy who did shoot somebody but says that he didn't pull the trigger?
Correct. That would
Okay.
be the one.
That's the one.
Who's that? Oh,
But you know, he's doing all the shows saying it.
Mr. AB.
Himself.
Hmm.
Himself. 30 Rock himself.
Mr. 30 Rock and Rollers.
Speaking of AB, funny story. Cards Against Humanity. I was playing it at the beach one time with family members, and there was a guy that came down with the family. He was an older guy, like successful dude, and yeah, I might have told you guys this before. I don't remember, but anyway, so he lays down one of his cards. He lays down, and it says anal beads. Like that's one of the ones that he lays down.
Nice. Right. That's a good one.
Yeah, and then so I started calling him AB Pete because his name was Pete. And the rest of the trip, that was his name, was AB Pete, and it stood for Anal Beads Pete. And he didn't like that too much. He wasn't a fan of that. But
He
it
didn't
stuck.
like it.
No,
Really?
he didn't like that. He was mad that it stuck. He was like one of those kind of guys. He couldn't really laugh it off too much.
Right.
was
He
mad
didn't.
that it
He
stuck.
shouldn't have played Cards Against Humanity in the first place.
No.
I got one. Let me. I got
AB Pete, what's up? Good morning, AB Pete.
I got a similar one to that.
You're his worst nightmare.
Yeah.
There's this this music agent. There's a music agent named John Bell, super nice guy, and I was managing a band called the Wheeler Brothers in like 2010 maybe, and they got signed to this agency, New Frontier Touring, and John Bell was an agent there, not their agent, but an agent at the agency. And when you go to a town, if you're in an act and your agency or your management company, your record label's in that town, everyone comes out to support. It's kind of part of the thing. So we're shooting the shit with these agents. We're like 22 years old, and John Bell, maybe he's like 4 years older than us. He's like, yeah, man, my wife just had a baby. And one of the guys in the band, who's kind of a jokester, was like, oh, she's breastfeeding. And he's like, yeah. He's like, you ever drink it? And John was like, yeah. And they were like, no shit, breast milk John. Oh shit, breast milk John.
And
they
why did
called
John
it-
say yes to
They
that?
called him that all night, and then dude, to this day, like I'm out of the music biz. I was on a phone call like 2 weeks ago, and someone was like, I just got off the phone. You know John Bell? And I was like, oh, breast milk John. Still, I haven't talked.
Was he like, yeah, that's the one?
No, but it's gonna get back to John that people are calling breast milk John. I haven't talked to John in a decade, but I just love that people are like, so they call you breast milk John, huh?
Yeah, if you're sitting at home drinking the lactation milk, it's like, I mean, I guess some people share that, but it's one you might want to keep close to the vest until you know somebody a little bit better.
Yeah, if
Otherwise,
you're drinking it regularly, yeah.
Otherwise, you're forever going to be known as breast milk John.
Like taking a sip is one thing, but like you're like, yeah, it's have my.
Well, you
breast milk
give it
every
out.
day.
Wesley gave out that information within like 5 seconds of meeting.
Yeah,
And I
no
know-
one. No one calls him that though, except it gets back to him at least once a year. I know. They're like, "Hey, tell me about this breast milk John thing." He's
Breast
like,
milk John.
"Damn it, I hung out with those guys one night." Anyway, guys,
Hilarious, yeah.
let's do the news. What do you say? What do you say there?
Yeah. Cup of coffee in the big time.
Okay, we're gonna do the news. First, I don't know. You guys want to start with a joke?
Sure. Yeah. You found a good one in there?
I mean, I don't know if it's up to Wes's
Wes laid down the gauntlet.
Wes's standard.
You noticed it worked, huh?
Do you think that it worked?
Yeah,
I saw a lot of submissions.
There was a lot of submissions in there.
Well, did you know that the day that you called everyone out was National Knock Knock Joke Day?
Oh, really?
Did you know that?
No, I did not know that.
Okay. Well, it was.
Really?
So you got a knock knock joke for us?
No, not at all. This one's a little bit different, and it's
Just
one
missed opportunity missed, Wes.
It's
guess so.
it's from Big Fudge. It's in the Discord.
Yeah.
If you want to be a part of the Discord, all you have to do is go to patreon.com/hardfactor, and you can be part of our community, our chat community, plus a lot of
It's
other stuff.
awesome. It's awesome.
But this is Big Fudge's joke. Got a lot of love. And the joke is, why don't blind people skydive?
I don't blind people.
They can't. Well, they wouldn't see the view of the skydiving, but
It's because it
That's
scares
illogical.
their dogs. It scares their dogs. Come on.
I like that one.
Come on.
That's
Good job,
good,
Big
yeah.
Fudge.
That's a good
Service
one.
dogs, guys. Service dogs. Okay, let's get into the
That would be
trending topics.
crazy. What if they had dog parachutes too, and you could just like jump off together?
I'm sure they do. That's been on like a ABC Wild Wacky.
Oh,
World
you
of
ever seen
Sports
those idiots? They
before.
bring their dog up there. They think they think the dog likes it. They like, look, he likes it. Like, no, that dog hates jumping out of a plane.
He doesn't know any better. He just wants to please you.
There's also been, Wes, I'll have to tell you too. Not only did your gauntlet throwdown work in the Discord, you see Big Fudge cranking out classics like that. Also, we got some DMs on the group accounts too. People are excited about the joke of the day.
Excellent.
I like the joke of the day.
Yeah.
I like to keep it to one because I'm not afraid to edit as a broadcaster on our show. So we're gonna do that and move on.
There you go.
Guys.
Oh no, of course. I wasn't encouraging you to read more. I was just saying.
I know you
lots
weren't,
came
Will.
in.
I
it
know.
was good.
Well, I know that.
we love the work.
Well,
that
I
you
know
guys
that.
do.
I'm gonna do
I know
5
that
next
you
time.
weren't, Will. I know that you weren't. Okay, guys. Turns out the FBI did snatch 3 of Donald Trump's passports during the raid of Mar-a-Lago last week. Yeah.
Why do they need those?
Whoopsies.
Why does he have 3?
That's a better question. We're gonna get into
old ones, right? Old,
Well,
is it current. He has
okay.
current, 3 current passports.
So
'Cause I have 2 in my desk. But one's
Donald
old.
Trump is particularly confused about that fact. In fact, so Donald Trump tweeted when he said, "Hey man, you took my," not tweeted, he truthed. He truthed.
Yeah, he's not on Twitter
He
anymore.
truthed.
Truthed it.
The FBI took my passports, one of which is expired. Right? Okay,
That's
one of which
normal.
is expired.
It's normal to have 1 expired, 1 current.
Thereby leaving 2 others, and you're wondering what they're for. Turns out 2 were expired. We found that out.
Oh,
when
okay,
it-
that's
when
normal.
He
I
didn't
mean,
know though, but he
that's
made the
normal.
point of calling out that 1 was expired, and he just thinks he got this other one. Anyway, whatever.
He's like, I have 2. 2 are active. Then you
Mhm.
get that when you're the president.
In case I lose one.
That mistake, guys, was given the FBI codename Fuel to the Fire. FBI codename Fuel to the Fire. The FBI acknowledged their boo-boo.
Oh
like
no!
like a
oh,
recent-
God. This
Yeah,
is the last thing they need.
I know it's not good. They acknowledge their boo-boo like a recent ex acknowledges that they shouldn't have said that about your mom, but still resents you for, quote, wasting a chunk of their childbearing years, telling Trump if he wanted them back so bad, he could pick them up at 2 p.m. at the Washington field office. You want your stuff back?
Oh no!
Come pick it up.
So, all right. So I will admit I got a little too upset yesterday about the Trump thing. It bothers me that he's back in the news so much. But
I didn't
a
know
lot
what
of
to
people,
say, Will. I literally,
lot of
I was
people-
dumbfounded.
Well, I just said I'm convinced of something that now other people in the Discord, they're saying that they think Trump blew the whistle on himself
It's very possible.
to get the FBI to raid him so that he would get back up in the polls. But to me, that's like so nuts because that would require him to have fooled the entire DOJ.
If that happened, here's what happened.
That did not happen.
If that happened, here's what happened. I don't think he blew the whistle on himself, but he might have said, wait a minute, because he kept not giving documents back. Essentially, they were like, okay, Donald, can we get the rest of them? And he kept not giving them back, and they were negotiating. He might have said, wait a minute. If I don't, I'll be a martyr. That might have happened. That's a possibility.
The only thing he may have did is like he may have paid the archive nerd to be like, you notice anything missing?
Dude,
Maybe you do.
Wes, you've never tried to bribe an archive nerd because they are unbribable.
Yeah, they are pretty.
I tried to bribe
Right,
an
and
archive
also-
nerd this year. They got really upset with me.
For that theory to be valid, like he would have had to get through the archive nerds like perfect integrity, which would be
Not
hard to
happening.
happen.
Not
Right,
happening.
and then the archive nerds story would have to be bought by every rung at the DOJ.
Yeah, but if the archive nerd was like about to get engaged or something, and he couldn't afford a ring, and he was like, "Why don't you buy your sweetheart, a nice ring?" And then the archive nerd would absolutely go for it.
So-
Like,
so
I'm
I-
gonna get my sweetheart a nice ring.
I don't mean
It's
this.
a Trump level ring. It's going to be
Yeah.
I don't mean this as an insult at
That'll
all.
buy an
That'd be
archive
the one
nerd.
thing, that could get him to break his
Yeah.
morals.
Yeah,
I
love her
respect-
so much.
I respect our archive nerds, and this is not an insult, but the autism spectrum, there's a spectrum on a spectrum for archive nerds. They're not getting engaged, guys. Moving on. In other news, according to the Daily Beast, a pro-Trump protest was scheduled to be held outside the FBI HQ
Oh,
in
I see.
D.C. over the weekend, right?
Give back the passport.
Yeah, they're gonna break in and steal the passport back.
Guys,
Give us those expired passports.
we got to find out what the other one's for.
There's memorabilia.
That's the passport that makes him president again. So no one showed up, though. Well, yeah, because it was canceled, because far-right blogs started suspecting it to be a, quote, trap.
A honeypot. Yeah.
Right.
They think it's going to be the feds only situation. Remember the second J6 where only reporters and federal agents showed up?
It was
That's,
definitely that
that's what-
situation.
that's what they think was happening there.
Yeah, one Trump supporter who was allegedly planning to go to the FBI headquarters with all 3 of his assault rifles, which he refers to as the Freedom Caucus,
wow.
was quoted as saying,
Strong name.
I know, it's a pretty good name, right? When they're all 3 together, that's the Freedom Caucus. He was quoted as saying, "Oh, no. Fool me once. Shame on me. You're not getting me again with that old trick. Besides, I got invited to a barbecue by some nice folks from the ATF who want me to share some of my bomb recipes."
Not gonna get me to raid another federal building.
No way.
What's funny about
Nice
the
try,
cops,
partner.
No way.
You know what I'm going to do if I get out there with the Freedom Caucus.
Hey,
the
one
FBI,
suggestion.
the FBI is hilarious with QAnon people. They treat QAnon people like deadbeat dads. So local law enforcement at the state level will say there's a truck that you can claim once a year, and they just bait all the
Right.
deadbeat dads in, and then they arrest them on the spot when they show up.
Yeah.
This is what the FBI does with QAnon people, except with pro-Trump protests.
I don't know.
They're like, trust us. It's gonna be so lit.
Aren't
We're
you
gonna be
mad?
So pro-Trump.
Everyone's gonna be just like you.
Shows up just
Yeah.
to get
I
arrested
do.
for being
On that
QAnon.
note, I can't believe Trump went back to let me know if me and my people can do anything for you, which is what he was, he's referring to his people, the J6 people. But there were plenty of pro-Trump protests all over the country at FBI headquarters in Arizona and Michigan, just
Right.
not in DC.
Right, and I'm not upset like I want to storm a building. Upset. What I'm saying is I'm upset like I just wish this wasn't happening because I feel like Trump drives both sides equally nuts, and I hate it. And I'm not
absolutely.
excited about it being back.
Yeah. Nice try, buddy. Almost had me. Honey, not going. All right, guys. Dr. Jill Biden has tested positive for COVID-19 and is reportedly experiencing mild symptoms. This is according to her spokesperson on Tuesday, who added, "But don't worry, she'll be fine. She's a doctor."
It's
that's
about
good.
time. She's been hanging out with sick Joe for
He had
3
it for like
weeks.
6 weeks.
Yeah.
Right.
He's still got it.
Well, he was in isolation, right? And so you're right. He got resurged again, probably. Did you see that he took off his mask on Tuesday just to cough into his hand. Pretty hilarious
It's
move.
classic.
At
He,
the
he
podium.
loves doing that.
Yeah.
Old habits die hard.
So that was probably how Jill got it, I'm assuming.
Yeah. It's a pastime when you're 80 something. Guys, Islamic extremists are reportedly scrambling to find new qualified hires after their attempted murder of author Salman Rushdie, quote, totally backfired, as Rushdie's 1988 book, The Satanic Verses, that was the whole reason for the initial fatwa in the first place, shot to the top of the Amazon bestsellers list.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Probably a good read. Rushdie, I mean, he seems like a real cool guy, given everything he's endured.
One fundamentalist, he told the press, quote, this is the exact opposite of what we wanted. Now we have almost too many new people to kill. We're having to look for more office space, train more people. It's majorly unexpected growing pains, you know? They're under the gun there because, it's number one. Number one, guys, Rushdie, who I'm sure was happy to hear the news, but it was a small consolation after losing an eye, suffering permanent liver damage for, writing fictional words about a guy no one knows.
Well, when you do it about Islam, Iran gets upset. That's what they say.
No comment from me here.
No comment from me. Because I
was just stating facts, I think. Well, that's what they say, allegedly.
That's what they say. Gotta be careful.
He exists, Pat. Watch it.
Who's that?
Muhammad.
What was the tone you said that with? I'm trying to gain if it was.
Yeah, Wes, I wouldn't even bring that word up.
Was that blasphemous?
Hey, Wes, you got a picture? You got a picture you could show us?
Ooh, you don't do that.
No.
Okay, I was just
you
wondering.
don't show Muhammad because let's move on. I have terrible news for active duty military members and newly minted veterans. This is bad. At the end of the year, guys, United States automotive giant Dodge will discontinue its gas-powered Challenger and Charger muscle cars, making the end of an era for the brand as it starts to transition to electric vehicles. Let's take a moment. Guys, this is bad, but this is good for Camaro and Mustang salesmen, as they'll have at least double the market of guys willing to finance a two-door at 58% interest. It's on, boys. They're coming your way. There's just, I don't know, something about an electric vehicle that would seem weird to have at dealerships that spell cars with a K. You know what I mean? This is bad for the troops. But between this news and us being in peacetime, seems like your best chance of getting laid if you're a troop is a Russian invasion. And on that note,
they had been spotted in Alaskan airspace.
Right. Yeah, I mean that's what you're praying for. No Challenger, no war, no getting laid.
Yeah, but Pat,
So
did you see
confused
though?
what you're talking about.
So
What do
Pat,
you- okay.
so Wes, they're taking away the gas chargers, which is like,
Right, yeah.
I mean,
well, yeah, that's the only charger that
All
should
right, so
exist.
here's the
Have you
deal.
seen the Ford Mustang they put out that's electric?
But-
It sucks.
what is an electric one? They have
Oh,
a
yeah,
bunch
it's
of
called the
electric
Mach
ones.
E or some shit.
So you know,
Yeah.
you know Lombard Trucking, right?
Yes.
Who's a member to our Discord. So he's a Marine, right? He went and served our country, and
People either buy a Mustang or a Charger, right? Usually.
When I did my background check on Lombard, he has owned in his career as a driver. I think he's about 33, so maybe 16 years or so. He's owned like three Camaros.
Sports cars, yeah. Oh,
Right.
Camaro, I suppose.
Which is it depends. I think that's like the Marines Challenger to the.
You know,
the
when I
Army.
first
It was
met
the
my wife, she
Challenger
had a
before the
Camaro.
Camaro. Yeah,
Yeah.
because the Challenger has recently made a resurgence with these new models. Before that was the Camaro or the Mustang for sure.
I love Dodge muscle cars. The Challenger, I
Oh,
like the
yeah.
Avenger too. The Avenger was sick when they had
I wouldn't call it a muscle
it wasn't
car.
a muscle car, but it was just a nice sedan that had a lot of power.
Right.
I appreciated it. Also, real quick before we talk about the electrics, did you see though that Dodge, in exchange to make gas people happy, they also are bringing back the Hemi Durango.
That's
So it's the most fuel guzzling car of all time. So they're selling that at the same time as they're going
I
electric.
love that. So,
Yeah.
but just to bring Wes
Olive
way
branch.
back up to speed. So,
Yeah, thank you.
what happens is if you go to a tour, right, you get paid, but you're not really spending any money. So you come back and you have like 30 grand in your bank account, and right off base, there are just
Okay.
Dodge dealership. And if you are an active service member,
Racing Stripe.
first thing you're going to do is throw down that pay you've just stacked at a really high interest rate because
Right,
you don't have great
40%.
credit.
Mhm.
Yeah. And you're going to get a Challenger and in turn, pussy. See?
Got it.
Right. But now, right? There's no war, so
Yeah,
not as
don't you still get paid for being in the army?
yeah, but you don't have a challenger that runs on gas, and you don't have a war to fight. You see what I'm saying? Like it's harder to get laid.
Uh-oh.
I think that
Yeah.
uniform does it though.
The uniform does do it, but the electric
tell.
car, the electric car is going to take away.
peacetime.
The electric car is going to take away from it for sure.
Seen any action lately?
Smell it on you. Anyway, guys, and then
There's no doubt it's less impressive when somebody pulls up in a silent electric car.
That's true. And a lot of times the dealerships, they spell cars with a K. But yeah, guys, as I was saying, this is bad news for the troops because it's peacetime, right? But I do have a fun headline from USA Today. Nuclear war between U.S. and Russia would leave 5 billion dead from hunger, study says.
Why are they doing that?
That's just the
over there?
headline. You see that?
What? So they're doing a New York City deal there with the
Just,
get ready for nuke
nuclear.
blasts.
Yeah, they've been all over that nuclear fear.
Yeah. Let me continue.
What's-
Here's the first paragraph. As many as 5 billion people worldwide, 75% of the global population, would die from famine and hunger after a nuclear war between the U.S. and Russia, a new study says.
Okay, but I mean, it's not really news studies, right? We've been publishing these that say this since the 50s,
Oh,
60s.
there's more. Well, I'm sorry. There's
Nuclear
more.
war bad. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I missed this. It continues. But goddamn, that would be the equivalent of pushing a V8 Hemi Challenger in terms of the sex lives of U.S. servicemen. Am I right? You got to look at the bright side.
No roads to drive on, but
Yeah. Our Raytheon stock would be through the roof. Yeah, I mean, like, come on.
What kind of headline is that? And it continued down. It was like,
It's
we really
fear
have
porn.
to avoid nuclear wars. Like, thanks, USA Today. We really appreciate that, bud.
Just fear porn. They've been. I mean, I feel like that's. I hate it. I hate that Trump is back, but he was great fear porn for CNN forever. So like, climate fear porn, now nuclear fear porn. It's just like people can't. The networks are always grasping for it. USA Today. That's cheap. That's
the editor
cheap
in the
going for
newsroom,
nuclear.
right? He's sitting there. He's saying,
Right.
I need a story. Hey, how many people you think would die of famine
Right.
if we had a nuclear war with
Say-
Russia?
5 billion, sir.
Yeah.
Put a number
Say-
on it.
Say we fired all of our nukes at once. What would happen?
Yeah, now we're on to something. That's a scoop. Anyway,
Would California go?
yeah, it could be.
I saw that Africa is going to
Probably.
split into 2 continents too.
Is that true?
Today, I have no idea. That's what the climate. I think that's a climate one.
Tell you what, you want to be on the good Africa. You know what I mean? You do not want to be on the bad Africa because one of them is going to be better than the other.
There's
No.
sub-Saharan, but just like the southeast, and it looks like
It's not going to break like a heart down the middle.
No, like there'll be a smaller southern piece and then a
Be
larger northern
Death and
piece. is what-
warlords.
I think that's the sea level rising. I don't know. I didn't get into
Hey,
it, but-
come! I want to do 90 Day Fiance. Oh yeah, where are you from? I'm from bad Africa.
But yeah, there's good and bad Africa.
What's
That's
that?
The 2 continents.
Hello, guys. Let's
I don't
move
know
on.
which one would be which.
Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz, he's been busy these days. The controversial Gaetz, he took a break from his nationwide Hold Biden Accountable tour of Florida on Tuesday to pop on over to Niceville High School and host the school's Academy Night. And
He likes to do that.
this is where Matt is graciously granting his time to high school students who are interested in attending U.S. military academies, which, fun fact, require a letter from a congressperson for admittance. That's like, West Point to Naval Academy, Citadel, etc. And guys, some groups, like Women Against Matt Gaetz, are upset about Gaetz appearing at the high school saying, quote, "No man under investigation for sex trafficking or statutory rape should be allowed anywhere near children, much less be able to use his authority to force children to be near him." Well, others guys are saying, if you're a female high school senior who's interested in going the officer track in the U.S. military, you better get your sweet paralegal ass down to Niceville High School auditorium. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He'll sign that thing for you.
Oh,
There you
he'll
go.
sign it for sure. It's a great talent scouting mission for Matt. Also, no chance.
Is that
he
picture
gets-
real?
Yeah, that's a real pic. He got in trouble for that. But that wasn't.
I
this
swapped
year's.
the
that
photo
wasn't
out.
this. Okay.
That was
this-
one of the old ones he got
Okay,
shipped
all
for.
right, okay.
This
Yeah.
is the flyer.
I was gonna say that's a real fucking from this.
That is a
Not
real
of this
photo.
year, Wes.
Okay,
that was
okay.
an old one. That was an old one.
It's the photo
he's
of
so
Matt
horny.
Gaetz. It was a tweet where he wrote like, "Real nice lunch table at so and so high school today."
But it was similar. Yeah, it was a similar situation. mean, that's Matt Gaetz, all right? Like, but there's no way he's getting charged at this point. That investigation's been open for what, like 2 years?
A little birdie that we know says different. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, but like, wouldn't they have charged him by now? Joel Greenberg has got grilled by the DOJ like back under Trump. I feel like
A dirty little birdie that we know, friend of the show, says
All right.
a different. So keep
Well-
your eyes peeled.
we'll see.
You do have to admit, though, I mean, he definitely was banging a 17-year-old, whether that's sex trafficking or not. You can't have him at the high schools. You know,
Yeah, what's age of consent in Florida? What's
doesn't
that?
matter. It's
I think it's 18.
he's a congressman.
Surprisingly, I feel like it's higher than you.
Well, so was Ted Kennedy, and he fucked a lot of it.
It was a different time. So how
I don't know if it was.
How,
I mean,
how bad
Bill-
do you want to
Bill
go to
Clinton-
West Point, baby?
I mean, like, I don't really know if it was a different time. I think people just don't find out about it until later.
Suck my dick like you want to get in the Citadel.
Yeah. I'm
Politicians.
the
using
first line of sexual assault before a very long line of sexual assault when you get into the Naval
Right.
Academy.
male politicians using their influence and power to get blowjobs is like, I mean, that I doubt that's ever stopping in America.
I agree.
It's a
high,
perk, you know?
High school's the difference. All right, guys.
Yeah, well, he's charge him. Otherwise, he's going to be bringing that dirty dick all over the high schools all over Florida.
Hanging at Niceville.
Just doing his job, you know.
Yeah.
That's all. He set it up. It's Matt Gaetz presents.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. Anyway, guys. All right, let's get into the top story of the day, a.k.a.
The cream of the crop!
Okay, Wes. Mantai Teau. Here's the situation.
I remember now, but yes, please go on.
Okay, Mantai Teau. Real quick Cliff's Notes. Amazing, really strong football player at Notre Dame. Okay. Strong religious faith. I think he's Mormon or a very conservative Christian guy. Major season, senior year at Notre Dame. Stuck around.
good, yeah.
A monster season, a Heisman level season. And guess what? His grandma dies. He's of, I believe, Hawaiian descent, some sort of island descent. Family's very important. Same day his grandma dies, his girlfriend dies.
Oh,
Terrible. Double
Unbelievable.
feature of ass, right? But
unbelievable.
Mantai's like Tim Tebow, but like not gay. You know what I mean? Like he's that level of like team leadership, like, you know, like squeaky clean guy. So Teau is like,
Allegedly.
I'm gonna get out there allegedly and win one for the. It's a win-win for the Gipper story taking place, and everyone's loving it. Everyone's loving this guy. He's from the islands. He's straight. He's clean cut. His grandma dies. His girlfriend dies. Shit, the same day. He's having a Heisman level season. Turns out, grandma's dead. Girlfriend never existed.
Yeah.
Right. This
That's
is
when
right.
people started to turn on Mantai.
This is right before the draft. Broken by Deadspin. It's horrible. But the reason we're talking about it, y'all, is because there is a new 2-part documentary on Netflix right now. You can watch it just this second, called Untold: The Girlfriend Who Didn't Exist, about the biggest catfish story in the history of catfishing, aka Mantai Teau.
Now, did he believe she existed, or he was just lying about her?
100% believed. Okay, so here's what sucks the worst. This is what's horrible. 100% believed she existed, but Mantai, right?
Allegedly.
Mantai got the 6th degree, right? And then news journalists called him out. They said, Mantai, some are saying that you made this whole hoax up to cover up that you're a homosexual. This is ahead of the draft.
Right.
And Mantai literally goes, oh, far from it. Farthest thing from it, brother. Because what
Okay.
else do you say? What else do you say? You know what I mean?
You're either a big dummy or you're covering something up.
All right, so it turns out it was some, I forget exactly what the connection was, but it was Ronai Tuiasosopo, right?
Tuiasosopo.
Tuiasosopo, who was someone like in the circle of Mantai, right? Somehow tangentially related or cousin of a cousin or something like that. Anyway, this person created a fictional girlfriend, right? And catfish Mantai. Turns out, and this is what I want to talk about. This is what the story is about. The story is about, guys, and I skimmed through the Netflix show. I didn't have time to watch the whole thing before our show. I'm not going to judge it, but I am going to read you the first couple paragraphs of the CNN review. So this is someone that watched it and gave a review. The story of Teau and his fake girlfriend is well known, but the story of Ronai, how do you say the last name?
Tuiasosopo.
Who created the fictional girlfriend as a way to come to terms with her own gender dysphoria is less so. Tuiasosopo has since come out as a transgender woman. The audience may first recognize Teau's name. The documentary opens with Tua Sesopho. She takes the central role throughout the 2 episodes, bringing audiences along her journey of self-discovery and gender identity, shaped in part by her experiences catfishing Teau. And to that I say,
Oh, wow, magical.
come on, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if this story, I look,
He's participating in this.
man,
She's gonna tell the world how dumb he is. Like,
oh, she already did it right
I
on
found
Dr. Phil before she
myself
transitioned. But
Catfishing Teau.
this is my problem. It's good for you that you transitioned. Good for you that you
Yeah,
found yourself.
Of course.
Do not point out and champion. And I don't know for a fact that this is what it's doing, but it's what it seems like. Do not point to you like damn near fucking ruining a guy's life. Like, and it's not because you made him seem gay. It's because you fucked with his fucking draft position.
Yeah. Oh, she did.
Right. But because you effectively made him
Right.
seem like a jackass.
Mantai's
idiot.
still playing. He hasn't been amazing. in
He's
the
not
pros,
getting
but
picked up. He's out of the league this year. But yeah.
He was a journeyman. Yeah, he went from being like a guaranteed like top 10 pick to an NFL journeyman, basically.
Yeah. At the beginning of the first episode, Mantai's mom is like, "I'll be straight up. I hate Tia Sesopho,
Yeah,
Of course, it was an evil thing to do.
who now goes by Naya. Naya, that's her name.
It was
But
an
and
evil,
still,
maniacal thing to do to someone you know.
Well, I feel bad for Mantai Teau now, but how could
that's what I'm saying.
how could he
That's
get
what I'm
catfished into a
saying.
fake girlfriend for 2 years or whatever this is? Like, it's how can he be that thick? Like,
Did you ever see the Dr. Phil that Tia Sesopho did, where she did the voice?
No.
They were talking on the phone. It
okay.
wasn't just texts. And
It's amazing to me how many dudes.
and he's a conservative Christian dude, so he
easily get catfished though. It's crazy how easy it is.
This one had to hurt for Teau for it to be that public. And I'm not talking about someone who's a dude catfishing you. I'm not talking about that.
No, I know, but like,
I'm talking about someone making you look like a fool. That you have a girlfriend, you don't have a girlfriend, and you dedicate the season to your dead girlfriend that never existed. You piece of shit.
If all you see of your quote unquote girlfriend who's online is just pictures and then you have phone conversations, you have absolutely no idea what's really going on.
You forget this is before the movie and then the subsequent show Catfish.
You know.
Right, I know, but I'm saying this happens to so many dudes. It's not just Mantai Teau, and I get that it's terrible that his was so public and it fucked with his career, but like this happens like PSA, like if all you see is fucking pictures and have phone conversations, you're probably getting catfished.
I think it's easier for this to happen in tight-knit communities that might be like religious communities that are not necessarily like that maybe don't have premarital sex, right? It's easier for it to happen.
And you know who else? The archivists.
Yeah, good targets.
They are getting catfished all over the globe.
All right.
Yeah. Anyway, it's fucked up, but I'm gonna watch it.
I mean, it's fucked up. It is
Good for Mantai coming to terms with it. Good for this person for finding herself. But Jesus Christ, like it better be an apology to camera, is what it better be.
Oh yeah.
No, they turned it into a
Feel bad
fucking
for her thing.
Yeah, feel bad for her. Story of discovery.
Well, look, we haven't seen it yet. If it's a good doc, they'll tell both sides of the story. But
I need to see Mantai's explanation of how he fell for this. Like,
get off Mantai's back, bro. He went from first round to second round in the draft. He paid his penance. Just let him be. Let him be. Anyway, guys, let's talk about an incredible app that gets you cash back every day. We're talking about Upside. We talk about this app a lot, the Upside app. It's for anyone that buys gas, groceries, dines out. Does that sound like you?
Used it today.
Yeah, 100%. What was it like today, Wes? What happened? Give me the rundown.
So I was driving, noticed my fuel light was on, checked my Upside app, said, oh, there's an Exxon that's 0.5 miles away, right on the way to where you're going. Maybe you should stop there and get, I think 14 cents cash back per gallon. So
Oh,
that's what I-
wow.
Yeah.
Look at
So
that.
then I just said, claim, bought it, accepted the
How?
cash.
Oh, okay. And then that just stacks. That's just a stack city?
Oh, yeah. You just look at your phone and just watch it rise.
How does that work? How does that work exactly? Do you know?
So it's linked to the card that you use to pay. Sometimes they ask you to upload a receipt, but most of the time it's just linked to the card that you usually pay for gas with. They don't have access to your card, but they see that you have paid. Then they do the math for you and say, oh, you spent you bought 40 gallons. Here's this amount back to you. It's really it's a
Cashback
mathematical
reward.
equation they've got in there. An algorithm.
I've heard
I
that
think.
I've heard, Wes, that it's 3 times better than credit card cashback.
That's what they say.
Is that the truth?
That's what they say.
That's the truth. Yes.
That's what they say. Look, guys, there's no reason to turn down free cash. A very rich man tried to pay me one time, and I was stupid and said, "Oh, that's too much money." And he grabbed me by the arm. He goes, "When someone tries to give you money, you take it." And I said, "You're richer than me, so I'll take the advice." And that's what Upside's trying to do. They're grabbing you by the arm, saying, "Here's a little cash. You want it? All you got to do is download the Upside app from the App Store." Pretty easy. Upside users are earning more than $1 million every week, cumulatively or combined. And that's probably why they have a 4.8 star rating on the App Store. You can download Upside free. Use the promo code HARDFACTOR, one word. That's really important. You got to use promo code HARDFACTOR. You got to use promo code HARDFACTOR. It's real simple. When you download it, you got to use promo code HARDFACTOR to get $5 more cash back on your first purchase of $10 or more. Don't worry about all that stuff. Just use promo code HARDFACTOR. You'll be taken care of. That's 5 more cash back on your first purchase of $10 or more. Promo code HARDFACTOR. That's the Upside app in the App Store.
Boom. Get it. It's a free app. Literally just gives you cash back. You're saving money.
Wes,
Don't be a Teau. You know.
Yeah, it's not tricking you.
So they get back from their deployments and they just have a ton of cash in their bank account, right?
Got it.
Right. And it's like, there's the strip club. It's right next to
like double
the Dodge
the whole
dealership.
time,
They're like heroic crab fishermen.
But no credit. These guys have no credit because, look, they're out on their own. That's why they went in the military in the first place. So predatory loans.
It's a vicious cycle for many who get the Mustang or the Challenger or the Camaro, whichever one. Gentlemen, pack your bags. It's time for a little trip.
Time for the TikTok International Moment.
That's right. Thank you, Darcel. And since I'm not sure if I'll get the TikTok International Moment again this week, I first wanted to say, fellas, just a reminder, Rage on the Red Sea, Usyk versus Joshua 2 is this weekend, August 20th. Saturday.
What's that?
So, it's heavyweight. Boxing championship.
Better get my gambling book out.
Yeah. Because Usyk smashed Joshua the first time. Usyk from Ukraine, current champion besides Fury in the heavyweight division. He's an awesome fighter. If you haven't seen him fight, Anthony Joshua, people say he's going to knock Usyk out this time. I'm not with it. I think Usyk's going to roll again. But Rage on the Red Sea this Saturday.
Have you guys ever gone back, and I did this because I'm friends with someone who's in their 70s, right, and is a big boxing fan, and he kind of got me into boxing. Have you guys ever gone back and watched an Ali fight, like as an adult?
I watched highlights.
Highlights. It was just so. It was impressive.
I recommend they're all on YouTube. I recommend throwing an Ali fight on just to warm you up for this Red Sea rivalry.
So dominant.
It's just fun, man. That guy is the shit.
Yeah, this one should be two bruisers. Neither of them is definitely not as flashy as Ali. But
I was just saying, for the love of the sport, getting fired up for the sport.
Muhammad Ali, the greatest. Yeah, and then whoever wins this is going to call out Fury, but hopefully it's Usyk because then he'd have a good leg to stand on to do that. All right, today's TikTok International Moment takes us to England or Russia. England is sexual, Russia is violent, as always. Which one you guys want first?
Sexual, violent.
Right, which one?
Oh, they're not together.
Sexual first, violent second.
My brain always goes to sexual first.
All right,
I want to save it. Okay, that's fine.
Oh, you want to say? Well, we can keep
like a
going.
treat, Wes.
You want to get worked up and then get sexual,
and then
okay,
it's fair.
All right, that's fine. Okay, Russia first then, and this one is called "In Russia, Robot Kills You" because Russia is hosting their annual Army International Military Technical Forum in Moscow this week.
It's a terrible name.
It's a horrible name.
They got to reword that name.
That's what Putin spoke at yesterday. Yeah,
it is
the opening of this thing. Yeah,
it is, Wes. And it probably sounds better in Russian, Pat. It's got to sound better.
The acronym is like Ricky Tikki Tumnus. What is it?
Right. Army AIMTFM.
Okay.
But anyways, it's in Moscow. They do it every year, I think. And Putin is very pumped to show off his latest weapons. And Wes, you're right. He did speak at the beginning of this, and he said that many of their latest weapons, quote, many of them are years, perhaps even decades ahead of their foreign counterparts. So that's what Putin said. He's very excited, very confident about the new weapons that they're unveiling this year at his military technical forum. And here's a video of the M81 robot dog, and it's armed with an RPG-26, and that's at the Moscow Expo.
Oh, it's
They're
healing.
showing it off.
Yeah, it's laying down.
That's cute.
Well,
For now, it's laying down. For now, it's just
Good
hiding.
bazooka.
it kind of looks like a little ninja.
Oh yeah, it
Right.
does.
Yeah, they dressed it in a black suit for some reason, as you
Yeah,
pointed out.
like
Pat,
like
yeah.
they're from like a woman in like Iran.
Yes.
Why is it so
hijab.
nervous? Why does it do that nervous walk thing?
I don't think it's just the way the robot is. These dog robots, how they are. And then people are trying to like pet it, even though it has an RPG on its back. It's a really weird scene. And the Russians are very, very proud of this new war machine they built. Pretty advanced, right, guys? I mean, scary, right?
If you want to shoot an RPG into someone's knees, it's pretty scary.
Well, I mean, you'd have to be far away, make sure you're not near any walls, and I guess then they could technically lock onto something. I don't know how RPGs work. Russia also put an AR-15 on. Remember we did that video a couple weeks ago? They did a robot dog with the AR-15. They were showing off like how scary that is. Also,
It makes sense they're the first to do it. I mean,
See, I'll tell you what. I mean, I don't know shit about RPGs, but I feel like the AR-15 is scarier to me than the RPG.
sure, yeah, I think so. I think both are. Putting a weapon on a robot dog, that's scary.
you're
right?
one and done with the RPG. I mean, that thing could just turn in a circle and take out.
But I feel like you'd hear it like a bottle rocket, like. And
The concept, right? The concept is scary because it's not a human.
Yeah,
right?
well, a dog. You can't reason with it. You can't say, "Hey, I have a family." You know,
You can't, Pat.
Can't be like,
But
want a treat? Want a treat? You want a treat? Squirrel.
Wes, you could actually say that to the operator, who's got to be within 30 feet of that model, because it turns out it's actually just a robot off Alibaba called the Unitree Robotics Unitree Yushu Technology dog. You can buy it off the internet for $2,700.
I'm literally buying. I'm buying this right now. I'm buying this right now.
Yeah, if you got $2,700,
I got a
put
credit
it in. So Russia, they just bought some of them. Look at, there's a side by side. They strap the weapons to it. That's all they've been doing.
No wonder they covered.
That's
it
all
up, 'cause
these.
that- That's why they covered it up, because they didn't want.
So
to
it's
be
a
called out.
toy. It's a toy.
Mhm. Yep.
So they didn't build this at all. That's the bottom line.
No, it's just
But
a
we saw it-
Chinese robot dog with weapons strapped to it.
But we
Right.
saw it
Literally all
firing the
they're
gun.
unveiling.
Wasn't it hitting like metal targets in the gun video?
Well, yeah. So Pat, if you look here, I'll do the video on mute again. But if you look at the RPG here, they have a remote trigger, right?
Right.
Like, so they put like a remote trigger puller on all these things. That's like the little.
You need like
you see
two
the
it's-
antenna.
You need two
But
hands.
you have two remotes. Yeah,
controllers.
there's a
That's
guy.
stupid.
There's a guy
like a
like
Wii.
30 feet away.
It's
With
like a
two
Nintendo
remotes.
Wii.
Exactly. Yep. Because this robot, I think it only has like a 30-meter range. You'd have to be within that. So it's really pointless. It's not impressive at all. It's like one of the dumbest fucking things that anybody's ever tried to release and be proud of. Actually.
Yeah.
They just
To be
bought
proud
a
of that
robot
is
dog.
laughable.
Yeah, off Alibaba, and then they keep strapping different weapons to it, and then claiming that it's groundbreaking technology.
They put it on like a high powered like remote control car, and
That's effectively what they did.
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah.
Basically. Also, Russia unveiled their new $6 billion space station same day, since they're leaving the International Space Station in
It's fucking
2028.
small for $6 billion.
Right, and it also looks a hell of a lot like the current ISS. It's like they're swapping out a used Camry for a used like Accord. You know, it's like, oh, I'm just gonna upgrade to the Accord same year, 95. Like
Is
They'll
the
never
camera the
build that
equivalent?
there's like
It's the
one's
Corolla.
Toyota, one's Toyota.
You're right. You nailed it.
Corolla.
Camry Accord. You nailed it. Corolla
think- I
Civic.
think they're
Camry Accord.
The
Yeah.
equivalents, right?
Yeah, nailed
Anyways,
it.
as we've covered before, guys, the Russians are only leaving in 2028 because they're bailing 2 years early and making everybody else at the ISS dispose of it in 2030. So that's all they're doing. They're
Hey,
just-
that's smart. I gotta hand it to
yeah.
them.
Well, I mean, come on, it's about as impressive as strapping a gun onto a robot
No,
dog.
they're never gonna build that new space station. There's no way.
Do you think they're gonna ask to get in on the next one with Bezos? They're like,
mean-
actually, we need to get in there. Okay, over to England. It's a Cold War special today. The country of England has been besieged fellas, by a new TikTok trend called vabbing. Have you ever heard of vabbing? Vabbing. Vabbing.
I've heard of vamping.
I've heard of vaping and fapping.
Yeah.
Okay, it's like it's
Dabbing.
probably like a mixture. Dabbing. It's a mixture of dabbing
with
in
your
another word.
vagina.
Yes, it is, Pat. Ding, ding, ding. The trend was started in America, recently restarted in America by TikToker Mandy Lee. Okay, so here she is. She does the vab, and that video, which has since been deleted by TikTok because they're squares, did millions, and people were shocked that she vabs. What she does is she puts, like Pat said, she puts a little juice on the neck, a little juice on the wrists. And she says it's like a free pheromone perfume, basically.
Oh man. Okay, so
That's what Mandy Lee said.
I really hope that they're giving credit where credit is due on this.
Oh, Pat, we're going to go through the history of the vab.
Okay, cool. Because I got exposed to it in a weird way very young. And
Pat,
it lives with me in my head.
Turns out this has been a forever trend, but it's just rearing its head. But the doctors in the UK are very upset that it's rearing its head again because they warned that the trend carries serious risks of vaginal infections.
Cancer. Oh.
Yeah, cancer, all of it, Pat. They said it could do all of it, including
and a vaginal cough too, a queef.
Yep, yeast infection. Look at that. You don't want any of that, right? So they're saying keep your dirty fingers out of that vag. Don't be vabbing.
All right. So
shit's so good it made a vagina cough.
Right. So you do this to yourself to attract men. You just you put your finger down there and then slime it on your neck.
That's right, Wes. Well, I got a tutorial video I'll show you in a second here. And worst of all, for Britain, fellas, vabbing, the combination of the word vagina and dabbing, as you guys correctly guessed earlier, it's back in the headlines again. So in June, Mandy Lee of America comes out there and she's like, everybody's got to be vabbing. And that goes viral. People are like disgusted or loving it. But now another girl is back at it. Julia, spelled like Jewel, like funny like that. She's got a viral tutorial on how to vab. And that's going off right now. So the doctors are really concerned.
It's like butt chugging marijuana in the front.
Yeah. Kind of.
You just stick your finger in your vagina and then rub it all over yourself.
Yep. So let's get into it. Let's let Julia explain it to us, guys.
To Vabbing 101. Disclaimer, I did not come up with vabbing, but I've been doing it for a week and it's been working out for me. So let's get into it. I know these are all common sense, but a lot of the commenters had me worried. So number 1, make sure you shower and or bathe before you vab. Number 2, wash your hands before you vab and of course after you vab. Number 3, if you go to the gym just like me, make sure to wipe down the equipment before and after use, which you already should be doing. That's proper gym etiquette. Number 4, the areas you vab normally are behind your ear and on your wrists. Those are normally surfaces that don't touch other things. So please make sure to not rub your ears or your wrists on other items and or people. Number 5, if you're on your period, simply wait. Simple as that. Number 6, if you have an STD and or a spreadable disease, please refrain from vabbing. And of course, if you have an unusual smell or any bad odor down there, please refrain from vabbing and of course, contact your doctor. You don't need a whole lot of your own scents and juices for a successful vab. Just a simple damp vab on your wrist and behind your neck will work perfectly fine. I'm still new to this and I don't know a whole lot, but vabbing is simple to do. And if you end up doing it, please let me know how it goes.
So Julia has since gone on to post tons of videos about how much vabbing has really opened up her sex life.
Oh,
and
bro.
She's just constantly getting laid now because of the vabbing.
I totally, the whole time, thought that you were talking about smoking weed out of your vagina.
No, it's just rubbing
like
vagina juice all over you.
dabbing out of your vagina.
That's the cute word they're doing it. No, it's actually just rubbing your pussy juice onto your skin.
Have you guys
exterior skin?
Did you guys see the French softcore porn Emmanuel, the 1974 one?
I think so. Yeah.
Where she smokes a marijuana cigarette out of her vagina.
Oh yeah. That was a funny scene.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Never mind.
No, that's not this.
Yeah, got
This is different.
This is
different.
lots smellier.
Yeah, when you go up to a girl and you smell and you're like, is that vagina on your neck? It might be. She might be. But ladies, doctors say to keep those dirty fingers out of those clamshells because it turns out it's dangerous. And it's not a new trend at all. As Pat pointed out at the beginning, vabbing was actually coined in 2019 by sex expert and author Shan Boudram, who claimed that she's been using the method to attract men for over a decade. This is what Sham said. She said, "I'm certain that every single time I employ it, it makes me feel like an enchanted goddess with a
She's just a
delicious
9.
secret." Yeah, she's so hot. She wrote that in her book.
You can do whatever you want with your stink when you're a 9.
Yeah. Yeah, it ain't the vagina juice behind your ears.
Yeah, you gotta. It doesn't matter what your pussy smells like if you're a 9, dude.
What kind of men are you trying to attract by rubbing vagina juice all over behind your ear? I mean, you're
The kind that want to fuck, Wes.
animals. Yeah,
Yeah.
just pure, like Rikers Island guys.
Do I smell what I think I smell?
Yeah, where's it coming from?
If I don't fuck a woman, I'm gonna fuck a bag with some Vaseline in it.
Well, guys, I'm sure that Gwyneth Paltrow likes vabbing too. She'd probably approve. But as we've said many times in this segment, doctors are against it since vabbing has gotten so out of control in England that one woman probably vabbed her way into court this year as she was caught pleasuring herself on a park bench in the middle of the day in Norwich, Cheshire, England. And what I'm thinking here is that since England's having such a vabbing problem, this probably started out as a simple, innocent vab on the Riverside park bench, before a date one afternoon. It happened at 3:30 in the afternoon. But then, Beverly Dean, 54, she probably just got a little overexcited and she started filming herself masturbating with tons of toys and then smoking cigs while she was doing it in front of several other park walkers who were there. And so now Beverly is headed to rehab and on 1-year probation to make sure that her vabbing doesn't get out of control again.
What an escalation that is.
Yeah, but you got to think, like, if you're the type of woman that's going to vab, I would say that 90% of your vab sessions end with you just furiously fingering yourself.
Oh,
right.
Yeah, for sure. For sure,
I mean,
Wes. This is yeah.
I mean,
This is like how guys clear the chamber before a date. All right.
I'm just gonna stroke it a few times. Yeah. Yeah.
Just a couple times.
Yeah, just a few times. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Just get it warmed up. It's like a primer on a lawnmower.
Yeah.
Right. So
Three-
look at
three
Beverly.
pushes.
Look at Beverly Dean. She is guys, describe her picture of
She looks like Marla
court.
Hooch from League of Their Own. That's the look that she has in her.
She looks like a female Boris Johnson.
Yes. Both of
She
those
looks
are
like
very accurate.
you know female Garth from Wayne's World 2. It's like it's like that, but Boris Johnson.
Except hunched over Boris Johnson style. Yeah, and so take it from Beverly's story. It's just not worth the risk for a DIY pheromone perfume. Thank you to Andrew Parker and Charles for the leads on those stories. They were great.
That was fabulous.
I figured you guys would like vabbing. I knew it was going to be a great combo.
Oh, that's one of my favorite segments ever. Goddamn. All right. Well, that's a tough act to follow. Let's go into the update I got for you guys. So, Alec Baldwin, right, from Newsweek. Just to recap, we know what happened to Alec Baldwin. October 21st, 2021. He was on the set of his movie Rust. He had a prop gun. He killed cinematographer Halyna Hutchins, and also shot director Joel Souza. And he has stated over and over again in interviews, in the press, whatever, that he didn't pull the trigger on that gun. So it just magically went off. It was an accident. I didn't pull the trigger. I don't know how it fucking happened, right? Kind of a scumbag thing.
Which doesn't happen. Like if you if you fire a lot of guns,
right,
you know that accidental discharges do happen. They do. But they're always they always happen. Accidental discharges always happen when somebody accidentally pulls the trigger. Something.
But are there two types of revolvers?
Happens.
I'm just curious. There are two types of revolvers, right? There's a revolver that you cock, right, like an old West style revolver.
You can cock all revolvers.
And then there's the revolver that you have to pull all the way through.
No, you can both. All revolvers work the same way. You can either cock the hammer back and then pull the trigger, which is easier for like if it helps you aim, because then when you pull, you're not messing with the gun.
You're not doing the heavy pull with your finger.
Exactly.
If you cock back, right.
So anyway, in his statement he gave during the interview with George Stephanopoulos, Alex said, quote, "I would never point the gun at anyone and pull the trigger at them. Never." Then in the same interview, this is all New York Post pointing this out, he said that Halyna told him to point the gun at her. He said, quote, "Everything is at her direction. I'm holding the gun where she told me to hold it, which ended up right below her armpit." So a little contradictory there. He insisted he didn't pull the trigger. So this week, after investigating the gun, the FBI has concluded that, shocker, Alec definitely must have pulled the trigger, and the gun was in perfect working condition and would not have fired unless it was fully cocked and the trigger was pulled by Alec or anyone else that handled that gun that day.
Yeah. What does he mean that he's never? I mean, like, look, if you've been on a movie set and you've been an actor who's in action movies, you've pointed a gun at someone and pulled the trigger. What is that? What does he mean?
Of course, because there's blanks.
Because they pay you to point the gun at someone and pull the trigger.
Part of the movie.
It's because he's a fucking lying piece of shit. He's a liar. That's what
he
this
just
all
thinks
boils down
people
to.
are gonna buy this whole "I never touched the trigger" thing.
He might believe he didn't pull the trigger. That's very possible.
Maybe it's been so traumatic that his brain has accepted his own version of the story.
Totally possible, but yeah.
But that still doesn't absolve him from it. It still makes him, I'm sure, like very liable in civil court, probably.
You're right. Maybe he does believe he didn't pull the trigger, but he definitely pulled the trigger. So the FBI, tested the gun and found that out. Also, this week. So Special Agent Jose Cortez announced the FBI did 3 accidental discharge tests of the gun used by Baldwin to determine if it could have fired without a trigger being pulled. And, they said nope. So what now?
Throwing it against the wall while it was fully loaded.
We put it on a trampoline, and we got a bunch of kids, 8-year-olds. They were bouncing up and down the plane, break the egg.
They
and that
could
thing.
make it go off.
Right. So what happens
High
next?
quality gun.
So this guy that was talking to Newsweek, he's a lawyer, and he was saying that prosecutors have several options now that Baldwin investigation is nearing its conclusion. So the Santa Fe medical examiner did determine that it was an accidental death. That has nothing to do with whether or not he pulled the trigger or not. It just means that he didn't fucking murder her on purpose, right? It was an accident.
Right.
If he gets charged with anything, right? That was foregone conclusion, right? So what they can do is they can continue to work with Baldwin's attorney and have Mr. Baldwin proffer, which is a less formal than a grand jury testimony. The individual will usually meet with the prosecutor and an agent of the government office, like the DA or something, and then the prosecutor asks questions while the agent takes notes, which he or she will use later to prepare a written summary of the interview. Or if the prosecutors believe they have enough evidence to proceed with an indictment, they will move forward. What they're waiting on now are his phone records for the DA. That's all they're waiting on now are his phone records, and then the DA will decide whether or not they're going to charge him or not.
It's fucking stupid. Just get him sued and get him on his way.
Well, there's already a civil. Halyna Hutchins' husband has already filed a big civil suit against him. And he was acting all
the criminal.
Yeah, the armor is the criminally negligent person. The armor and the first assistant director maybe, but the armor is criminally negligent, not alcohol.
Right, but I'm saying the people. So her husband, or her widowed husband, he needs all these court proceedings to happen in order for him to get his money from the civil suit, right? Basically.
OJ didn't, or the Goldmans didn't,
Yeah, I don't know if know if you necessarily need a criminal trial to benefit from a civil trial or not.
It would strengthen his hand.
It certainly would, but I don't think you have to.
It might not be admissible at all.
Right? Maybe. I mean, well, there's different there's different degrees of.
Let me think on this. Let me think on this.
Anyway, another lawyer, this guy Bradford Cohen, he was saying that the discrepancy between Baldwin's story that he's been saying forever and the FBI's findings, quote, screams conscious of guilt, and an innocence of guilt or a conscious of guilt refers to a powerful and highly incriminating inference that a judge or jury may draw from the statements or conduct of a defendant accused after a crime has been committed, suggesting the defendant knows he or she is guilty of the charged crime. And that doesn't look good for Baldwin because it doesn't look good in the eye of public opinion, and it won't look good to jurors if they charge him, if that is, kind of the big thing that they play on here, especially in the civil suit, right?
Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna owe money and probably like some type of something. I don't know what happens with the criminal stuff, but he's definitely gonna owe money. I don't know about
let me give you a slight different example, right? So the last time this happened was on the Greg Allman movie, right? The director that did Bottle Shock, and he told the director and the first assistant director and potentially a producer who did not clear with the railroad that they'd be shooting on the railroad. The railroad said no, right? So there's a railroad bridge, Stand By Me style, over the water in Georgia. They say go put a couch out on that railroad, right? So that requires buku crew people, 10 people to go put the couch out there. Oh shit! No one told the crew people they were stealing the shot. The railroad had said you're not allowed to shoot there. A train starts coming down the tracks. Sarah Jones killed.
Right.
It's horrible. Very different scenario, right? Multiple people are at fault there, right? Multiple people knew what was going on, right? And the director went to jail. The first assistant director went to jail. This is a situation where you have one person at fault, and that's the armor, in my opinion. And that armor was supposed to do a certain job.
Baldwin's lies
and did that job wrong.
Right. Yeah, but Baldwin's lies afterwards really make him look a lot less trustworthy to anybody who's going to be judging this.
They make him look like a scumbag.
Right.
Well,
so it's
an
just tough. Yeah, but he either is a huge liar or he's the craziest person in the world, and you have to believe one of the two.
Yeah, he's an actor.
So it's just
So
it's
one
tough
other
for him. He doesn't look great.
It doesn't look good for him. One other interesting thing that I read was from this guy Steve Wolf. He's a Hollywood firearms expert. Okay, he said, "quote
What did he say?"
He said the trigger must have been pressed. It's really important to discredit anyone who claims that guns fire themselves. If this becomes an acceptable defense, there goes any accountability when it comes to shooting people. We can't.
Oh, well, I mean, that's true. The court needs to rule that like it was an accidental and he pulled the trigger.
I'm just saying that's an interesting point because it makes sense to me that you have to determine whether or not he fucking fired the gun, because he can't just it sets a really weird precedent.
I think he just said it one time and then just went with it, and he probably didn't think it through.
Yeah, so I don't know. Also, there are these texts that came out 2 months after the shooting between Matt Hutchins, who is Halyna's dead husband, or his wife died. Baldwin killed her.
The widow.
His
widower. Right. She says, Alex says, quote, "I'm with my kids!" exclamation mark. And this is because Matt reached out to him, I guess. And he says, Alex says, "Your attorney told me not to contact you. So what's up? Hey, guy whose wife I murdered, what the fuck do you want now?" And then he says, "Make sure to tell your lawyer that you reached out to me and not vice versa." And then Matt says, "Of course, you can always text me if you have something on your mind." And then Alex says, "Your lawyer sent a variant of cease and desist to me, told me not to contact you. So there's that." So, I mean, Alec Baldwin is just, I hope he has to pay a shit ton of money, because he's just apparently
he's
an asshole.
He's like trash talking the husband of the guy of the wife.
It's been all about him. I have trouble raising my kids now. My kids are affected. I'm so affected. Blah blah blah. It's it's the way he's handled it has been it's disgusting.
His actions afterwards paint him in a bad light.
But now they proved that he either, like Pat says, truly believes he didn't fire the gun, or he's a fucking liar. So I guess they're gonna have to determine that maybe once they get his phone records.
Yeah, but if he truly believes he didn't fire the gun, then they need to send him to the loony bin, because it proves he's fucking nuts.
Right. Yeah,
he's convinced himself that he fucking didn't fire it when he did.
I'm gonna say it one more time, man.
He's a method actor.
No, not method, just an actor.
I'm just saying, it does prove he's a loon if he thinks he didn't do it.
But big update on that case. We'll keep you updated on whether or not charges get filed. That's that.
Huge update. Also, Wes, you were gonna go double dark with the duck sauce guy.
Right? Oh yeah, the duck sauce guy killed himself, and he ended up being a giant hoarder. They found like 1,000 ketchup packets in his fridge, and like he loved sauces, and he just hoarded everything.
His hoarding got somebody else killed, and he couldn't deal with the guilt of it. So then that's also a dark story.
Yeah, it is.
We keep coming back to that guy because it's so dark, but we should just leave it alone.
Well, he's dead now because he killed himself.
Well, it's over. Yeah, it's double dark.
Well, he did leave a suicide note that was trying to like absolve his wife, which was nice, I guess, of any wrongdoing.
Oh, somebody's married to that psycho?
Yeah,
she was living inside
Mrs.
the
Duck
squalor?
Sauce.
Yeah.
Oh no, you can't have a partner if you're a hoarder. Yeah, that's just torture. That is torture to somebody else. All right, let's
you have
spin
your
the wheel.
cats.
Right, that's obviously okay. Cup of coffee in the big time tomorrow. Me, Will. Will be cup of coffee in the big time. Hilarious. The Wednesday cup of coffee in the big time. Well, Thursday's show. Thursday's show.
It's a tough one.
Yeah, it's a long day. And then Wes has TikTok International Moment. Pat will bring you a wild card story tomorrow.
Wow. Sweet. All right. Well, that's going to do it for today. Again, I know no one really gives a fuck, but we got this we got this walrus shirt in the store now.
Look,
store.hardfactor.com.
It's a huge deal.
It is a huge
Never
deal.
forget.
It says Norway murdered Freya. So if you want to stick it to any of your Norwegian friends, this is a great shirt to buy. So if you're over there in like Denmark or wherever.
What's up with that shitty salad at the beginning there? This is one of the only shirts we've made ever.
It's reverse psychology, Pat.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Freya looks gorgeous on the shirt, Wes.
I've loved the shirt, and it's the type of shirt that someone's gonna see it and be like, "Oh, animal lover." Oh man,
it is. It's a beautiful portrait.
It's the equivalent of having a gas-powered Dodge muscle car.
Yeah,
it's even in Norway colors too.
Exactly. I did that on purpose. I looked up the hex number and everything, so it's official flag colors of Norway. Yes. There you go. So check it out. Also, patreon.com/hardfactor. Get in Discord. Send me some jokes. Send us some jokes, some fun facts, and mix it up. Get in the lottery corner, the gambling corner, all kinds of channels in there. Very great community. But hey, we love you. Thank you for listening. Have a great fucking day.